Okay, so let us start off with today's lecture. Before that, let me walk you through again the syllabus that we have covered so far, right, in the portion for the first eye. Sorry, the third eye. Right, so in today's lecture, we'll be discussing about the web scraping that is from the module 5, right? What is web scraping? A few projects related to web scraping. How can we create an automated program which can do the task of this web scraping using some modules, right? Yeah, the inbuilt modules which are present to us. So in this particular module 5, we will be dealing up with web scraping, right? Under which we'll be taking up few projects and how to automate some basic task in the web scraping, right? So let me start off with sharing the screen. Yeah, please acknowledge, is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So yes, so in this module, we'll be dealing up with the web scraping, and as I said, we'll be taking a few projects, which will be basically small programs which are automating few tasks which we do daily on a daily basis. Right? So how can we automate a few basic things using these technology that we have, the web scraping, right? So for that, we'll be making use of few modules like a web browser module, the request module, and so on. So in this particular module, module 5, we are going to deal with web scraping. We'll be working up with Excel spreadsheets, working up with PDF and Word documents, and most importantly, we'll be working up with CSV files and JSON data, which is very much required for your real-time projects, right? So if you're trying to get into front-end development or maybe full-stack developer, then these are the things that you have to focus upon. So this particular model is very important from the placement point of view as well, because this model covers the basics of the practical projects and real-time projects. So the questions from such areas will be asked in your placements. So it's better to have knowledge, and side by side you can develop your own small hobby project like a small website, maybe a digital resume, using these technologies which we are going to learn in this one. Right? I think there are a few more people adding up. Okay, those who are joining late, please drop your roll numbers in the chat box. Okay, so as a part of web scraping, we'll be taking up a small program called Mapit. Okay, Mapit, basically it's a automated. It will be automated program which will be helpful for us to extract some data from the website and also map it. Right. So for that, we'll be using some inbuilt modules, right? A web browser module and a request module, right? So request module is basically used to request the website for downloading some files from the web page, right? And also we'll be looking forward using web scraping. How can we save downloaded files into a hard drive, right? So these are the basic things which we already do, but how can we automate using a program is what we are going to learn here, right? How can we write a script for it, and simply running a script will do the task for us, right? So apart from that, we'll be learning about parsing the HTML, right? And there is one more module called Beautiful Soup module, which is again very important module. We'll be learning about these things as well, right? And you must be already aware with the feature that Google has added in the Google search engine, that is, I am feeling lucky, right? So we will be having an understanding of it. How does this work, right? If you can, if you open the Google search engine, the home page, you will find a small text hyperlink there saying, I am feeling lucky, right? So if you click on that, you will get some relevant data which you have earlier browsed, right? So how does that concept of Google search engine works is what we are going to see in this module as well, right? And then we are going to work with the Excel spreadsheets, the documents, installing an OpenPy Excel module, right? And then reading the data from the spreadsheet, right? Writing a program to read the data from the spreadsheet, then Excel documents and other documents like PDF and Word, right? So these are the basic things what we usually do, but this takes a lot of time if the task is very huge, if the data is very huge and you have a lot of text to be you can say worked upon, then in that case manual work take a lot of time, right? So for that, we can have a automated script written, and simple running of that script will take care of all these basic things which which can replace the manual task. Right. So working with PDF and Word documents, we'll be also looking forward to create a program for combining selected pages from a particular from many different PDFs. Right. For example, if you want to select some specific pages from multiple PDFs, then we can write a program for that as well. Right. So apart from that, as I mentioned, we'll be working with CSV files and JSON files, right? CSV, for that, we might require understanding of CSV module and also understanding of removing some unwanted content from the files, right? It can be CSV file or JSON or maybe APIs as well, right? So, for example, unwanted data like header or a footer and those things, right? And only fetching upon the essential data or the required data, right? So this is just the overview of it, and uh, step by step we'll be learning about these things. But first thing is to understand the concept of web scraping, right? So a few of you guys already must be aware with this term called web scraping, but okay, let me have a poll here. Many of you have already heard about this term web scraping. You might not have any knowledge, that is fine, but at least heard about it. Or what do you mean by web scraping? What is your understanding of web scraping? Anybody? I can see a few of you guys have already been working upon few hobby projects, developing kind of small websites, which is interesting. So, you guys, those who are trying to create a website and extract some data out of that, they might be aware of this term called web scraping, and there are other terms also like web crawling and so on. Right. So basically, web scraping, it's a it's a technique to extract data from a particular web page, right? So there are different ways to do it. Google also makes use of web scraping and also web crawler to analyze data from a particular website, right? Let me show you with an example here, right? So web scraping, it is basically a term for using a program to download and process the content from the web, right? So there are many advantages of web scraping. Web scraping basically can be used to detect some kind of a text, some specific text, maybe some kind of monitoring. It can be text monitoring, or it can be, for example, if I have to uh, highlight only the essential data from a particular web page, right? Then I can make use of web scraping and I can give the required essential details, which can only fetch up the essential information. For example, let's say I want to get the contact numbers from a particular web page, right? I have to get the only the contact information about a particular website, right, from that particular web page. So I can simply run a script which makes use of web scraping, and it will fetch me all the contact details, right? Another example can be, let's say if you want to have, the numbers, right? Only the, let's say for example, you want to have the monitoring of prices from a stock market, right? So you can only you can write a script for that, and using web scraping you can make use of the extracted data, right? Which is only the price. The essential data here is only the price of different stocks. So monitoring those prices can also be one example here. So there are a lot of other things. For example, if you want to have a location or a hyper, let's say you want to extract links from a particular website, right? So you can run a script for that, and using web scraping, you can extract the essential detail from that particular web page, right? So that's how Google also makes use of web scraping to analyze the data, and depending on your search history and other web pages that you have visited, it will give you some kind of earlier, and the pages that you would like uh, potentially, and you might to visit those pages. It's kind of a prediction and recommendation what it's trying to do. So this is the basic understanding of a web scraping, right? So in order to do that, we have to have some understanding of a few of the modules that the Python makes use of, right? So we'll be understanding the concept of web scraping using Python, right? So for that, let's say we need to have the understanding of modules, for example, web browser, right? We need to understand the module, the inbuilt module Python has, which is web browser, right? So it comes within the Python, and basically it opens the browser to a specific page, right? There is also a module called request module, which we'll be using in case when we want to download the files from a particular web page, right? And of course, when I say web page, it has to be on the internet and not locally stored, right? So this request module will work when you want to download few files from the web page on the internet. Then there's one more module, interesting module called Beautiful Soap, right? So this is basically a Python package, right? It's a Python package which does the task of parsing the HTML or the XML documents, right? So it parses the HTML into the proper format, the format that the web pages are written in. Right. So this will be again interesting model to learn, and ultimately the Selenium module. So basically, this Selenium model, what it does, it launches and uh, controls the web page. Right. It controls the web browser, and this Selenium, it is also able to fill in the form. Right. For example, if there are web pages wherein for example, let's say registration pages, so they have blank forms, right? So this Selenium model can be useful there because it is able to fill in those forms and simulate the mouse clicks on this web browser. Right. So these are just the overview of these modules. As and when we proceed, we'll be dealing up more with it, and in depth we'll be looking forward to understand this module and what are the different features that we can create out of these modules is what we're going to see. Right. So first module, let's say web browser. So using this web browser, what we are going to do here is we are going to map some addresses. Okay, so we are going to use this module called web browser, and we are going to kind of automate a task. Right. For example, let's say it is quite difficult to point out a particular address on the Google map. Right. Let's say you have an address, you have the text address in the text format, and you want to have a look on the Google map for that particular address, right? So it is quite tedious to copy that address and then search on the Google map, maybe pasting it, but it will not give you the exact location of what you were expecting, right? Because everything is not defined there in the Google map. So every time copying that text address and having a view on the Google map will not be, you know, suitable option. Let's say, how can we write a program for that? Can we write a program which can automatically copy the address into the clipboard, and maybe open the Google Map software, the Google Map app, to pinpoint the exact location depending on the address that we have given as the text, right? So what we have to do is simply instead of searching that location into the Google Map app, we are going to simply copy the address into the clipboard and run the script to get the Google map opened to the exact address. Right. So for that, we are going to make use of the module called web browser, because what it does, it is simply going to the identify the text, which will be our addresses, and it is going to make use of this web browser module to open the other application, right? For example, Google Map in this case, right? So just to give you an example of how this web browser module works, since we are making use of this web browser, we have to import the module, that is import web browser, and then using the web browser module, we can do the other task, for example, opening a particular website. Right? Let's say I want to open this website called inventwithpython.com. Right? So the syntax for that is web browser dot open in the parenthesis single quoted the website name. Right? So this will just open the web page, using the web browser module. Now, similarly, we what we have to do here is we have to copy address into the clipboard, and we have to open the Google Map. Right? So how do we do that? In order to write the program for that, first we need to get the address, right? We need to get that particular street address, let's say from the command line, right? Command line argument, or it can be from the clipboard as well, right? We can directly give it at the command line, or you can make the address available at the clipboard, right? Now, once we have the address available, we need to open the web browser, right, to the Google Maps page, right, in the Google Maps page address. And for that, along with the command line, since we are making use of the command line argument, we need to use the inbuilt module, that is assist.arg, right, which will take care of the command line arguments, right? And then we are going to read the content from the clipboard, which is nothing but our address. So once we have this input, which is our addresses, we're going to call this module web browser dot open, right, which is the open function to open the web browser, and then we are going to open the Google Maps address. So how to do that? Let us go step by step to understand it. Right. So for example, let's say the first step is to identify the URL itself. Right. We have to figure out what is the URL. So when I give the address as the command line, here is the example of how the address can be given at the command line, right? So for example, this particular text right from here to here, this is the address here, right? 870 Valencia Street, San Francisco, CA, right? So this is the address, but before that, prior to the address, we are going to give the name of the module, that is map.it. Right. So this script will use the command line argument instead of the clipboard. Right. So we are not copying the address anywhere. We are giving explicitly we are giving the address here in the command line. Right. So if we have to make use of the Google Maps, so you all know the website link for that. That is maps.google.com. Right. So that is the URL that we'll be looking for. So, but when you search for the exact URL, you might get some link like this, right? HTTPS colon www.google.com, maps, places, and along with the address, you can see here some special characters and some random alphanumeric values here. All right. So, which is no use to us, right? We don't know where is that data coming, and we are least bothered about it. But we have to give a specific address in order to make the module understand that this is the address that we are trying to search on the Google Map. Right. So instead of this whole complicated link, the simple link that you can make use of is the https colon google.com/maps/place. Right. And after place, you can simply type the address, right? Whatever the address that you are want to look in the internet, right? So this syntax for that is here, that https colon www.google.com/maps/place slash whatever the address that you want to search, right? So this is just the first step, that is finding the URL, right? Now we know what is the URL, and we can use this URL to in the web browser module to perform our task, right? But right now we have only the URL. Now next thing is to handle the command line argument that we are going to give as the input, right? So for like you are already aware, I think we have discussed in the module 2, in order to make use of the command line argument, we have to import the uh, inbuilt system, the module called sys, right? It stands for system. So any system related calls, not just command line argument, any system related instructions or any methods or functions that you want to make use which are related to the system, you have to import the module called system, right? So here we are going to import web browser and sys, right? We are going to check the length of the argument, and if there is at least one argument, right? At least one argument, then we are going to execute further, right? Which is nothing but we are going to create a variable called address, and we are going to join that address with respect to the argument that we are passing, right? Using the join method. So at this point in time, we have the URL, we have the command line being handled properly. Now, next thing is to get the address from the clipboard, right? So whatever the clipboard, the address that we have copied and is internally stored in the clipboard, we have to get it, right? So hope you can recall when we discussed about the module called Piperclip, right? So Piperclip is the module which is used to internally uh, copy the content and store it into the internal clipboard, right? So as the name says, Piperclip. So that is the Python clipboard module which copies the data. Whatever you copy, it will be internally stored in the inbuilt clipboard, right? So which can be used anywhere that you where you want to use. So let me demonstrate that as well, how to handle the clipboard content, and then we will see how to launch the browser. Right. So as I said, we have to import the Piperclip module, and once we have the argument, uh, argument length checked, and the all the command line argument uh, taken as the input, we are going to check whether can we get the address from the clipboard, right? And then address will be the address that we have copied from the clipboard, which is available at the clipboard, and then we have to copy that internally saved address in the clipboard from the clipboard to the web browser, right? So for that, we'll be making use of the web browser mode. So web browser dot open slash the link, which is nothing but the Google Maps link, plus whatever the address that you want to search for. Right. For example, let's say the above example itself, this 870 Valencia Street, San Francisco. So this particular address here is what I have to search. So after the URL, that is https slash double slash www.google.com slash maps slash places, right? I'm going to add the address. So this will directly take me to the exact location in the Google map itself. Right. So why are we doing this? You can simply ask a question. So simply, I can go to the Google Map app and search for the location in that particular area and zoom it in and pinpoint it. Right. So the overall task that this particular script here helps us to achieve is if you compare both the manual uh, approach to get to a location and this approach that is using the map it script, how we can say that the this particular technique is better than the manual approach is if you list out the task that you have to do. Firstly, if you try to do using manually, you might have to highlight the address, which is nothing but figure out what is the address, copy that address, right? You have to open the web browser manually, go to the maps.google.com link, right? And then click the address text field, paste the address field, and then hit the enter to search for the location, right? So this is the task that we usually do when we have to manually go and check, right? But if we create this automated script here, what it will do is it is internally going to highlight the address, copy the address, and run this Python program. So once we run is everything other task, that is opening the browser, going to the link, exact address, and that web page, that location will be in front of you. Right. So that's how the this mapit.py makes this manual task a little less tedious. Right. So this was all about the web browser module and the other inbuilt module that we can make use of to automate few tasks which we which will usually take a lot of time at the bigger scale, right? So another interesting concept here is to understand that how can we download files from the web with the inbuilt modules that we have, right? So we have inbuilt module for that, that is called request module, right? So request module basically what it does, it requests the web page to download some content from that particular web page, right? So request module, it is if you have to use any functionality of the request module, then of course you have to first import this module using this statement, that is import requests, right? So it will request the content uh, from the web page. Now, how to do that? For that, we have other inbuilt functions available under this module. For example, we have request.get function, right? So this request.get function, which is used for downloading a web page using this function, we can take a string of the URL, right? We can take the string of a URL to download that particular web page, right? So let me demonstrate here how to do that. Let's say first we import the requests, right? We store the request returned object into the variable called res, which is the result variable, right? And using the get function, uh, that is request.get, we are going to give a particular a link here, a URL here, which is going to request the content to be downloaded from that particular link. Right? Let's say I give this link to the website called gutenberg.org, right? And I'm trying to copy some content from there and store it into the resulting variable. Let's say I may have to create a new text file for that, so that whatever the data is copied from the content will be stored into the new file, right? So let's say I create a text document, right? I create a text document called res, and whatever the content that I'm going to copy using request module here will be stored in this text document called res. Okay, so yeah, this is the res.txt file, which is the file which I have created as well as copied the content which I have extracted from the this particular website. Now, before we actually copy the content, we need to check the status of this resulting factor, whether the request code is okay or not. Right? The request code for this requesting module uh, from the website which we have requested, is the status correct or not? Right. So for that, we have the inbuilt feature inside this request module, that is res.status code. If the status code is equal to request.codes.ok, if it is okay, then it will return true. If it is not, it will return false. Right. So only if it is true, then only we can we can say we are good to go to copy the content from that website to a particular document. Right. In this case, it is the text document. So once I have this text document, as you can see, we have simply checking the length of the text here, and if I have to print that text document, I have give the instruction print res.text, and you can see there is some range I am giving it into the square bracket, that is colon 250. Right, so that means that only the first 250 characters will be printed from whatever the content has been copied. So this is something, the content of that particular website, right, up to 250 characters, So this particular website contains this text document there, right? Text content there, which is copied now from the website into our file called res.txt. So this is about the request model, right? So when we have errors, how to check about those errors? Checking for the different errors that we have when we raise the status here. As I said, when we can only able to copy the content when we have the status code as true, right? The res.status code is equal to the request.codes.ok. If both these statements are correct, that is true, only then the data will be copied, right? The content will be copied. Otherwise, we have an error there, right? So how to check about those errors? If you think that there is a kind of error, then it's better to make use of the try and accept clause, right? Hope you remember the clause that we have discussed, right? I think when we discussed about the exceptional handling, right? When we discussed the exceptional handling in maybe model 3, we discussed there about the try and accept clause, right? So we can make use of the try and accept clause in order to check whether is there any error or not. Right? So other things remain the same. We have to simply put the status that is raised for status method in the try clause, right? So if there is an error, simply the exception gets executed that there was a problem with so and so string, right? So that is how we can identify where exactly is the error. Is there any error? If it is, where exactly it is, right? So moving ahead, another interesting thing, for example, to download the files from the web page to the hard drive, right? Now, there are a lot of ways to download. There are a lot of downloaders available. There is inbuilt, Chrome features, or you can say any browser, any particular web browser gives you the features to download or save the files from the web page to your local drive, right? Maybe the hard drive. But can we have a program for that which will help us to save the downloaded files into the hard drive, right? Can we automate this thing is what we're going to see under this topic, that saving the downloaded files to the hard drive, right? So it might make use of some reading operation, some writing operation, opening a particular file, closing a particular file, right? So we have already seen functions like opening a file, reading the content, or writing the content, and then closing the file, right? Hope you remember the concept from the module 2, right? So same function, similar functions and methods is what we are going to use here to save the downloaded files from the web page to the hard drive, right? So let me give you the exact code here, that is using the iter underscore content, right? So iter underscore content is basically the one of the method which does the iterations to continuously request the content, right? It continuously checks for the content from using the request module, right? So we have the request module. Using this request module, this particular method here, it continuously iterates to request the content, right? So for that, we have to, of course, import the request. We have to give the URL from where we have to, download the content. We have to check the status, and we are going to create one more file, because whatever the content that we are going to copy, the files that we are going to save, we have to save it in a new file. Right? For that, we have to create a new file. So let's say I going to create a new file called Romeo and Juliet, right? Which is again a text document, right? So using this text document, whatever the content that we get from the web page here in the link, that will be stored. That content will be stored in this text form, text document in chunks, right? So for every chunk, a chunk is nothing but batch wise. You can say we are going to save the content maybe in a batch wise, in a chunk. Right? We are not going to copy the complete content in one go and then going to paste into a new file. Instead, we are going to take some content, right, maybe a portion of it, copy the content, save it in the new file, and then go to the next chunk of it, and then copy and then again save it. Right. So we are going to put this you know, repeated in a repeated fashion. We are going to repeat this copying and saving in the small chunks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a for loop for that. I may have to set up a for loop for that chunk in that particular content, right? Whatever that content of web page has. So let's say I give some size to that data, right? Some bytes. So let's say I give this 10 lakh, 1 lakh bytes, right? The data bytes, which should be more than sufficient, right? So this number here denotes the bytes, right? So this much content will be copied, right? This is the chunk size is what you can see. And once we have the data copied, this much data, this much chunk of data content copied, we are going to simply write that content into this text document, right? So which is our nothing but play file dot write chunk. So once the data is written, we are going to close the file. So this will go on till up till we reaches that content size, right? That maximum size of the chunk. So once we reach that maximum size of the chunk, the for loop gets terminated, and ultimately we end up having some content of that particular size, right? That given size into the new text document, right? And once we have this new text document ready, we are simply going to close the file. Right. So that is all about saving the data. Right. If I have to put it into some statements, some lines, what we do first we call the request.get function, download the file. We call the open function with the web browser to create a new file, right? And write a binary mode, right? Write binary mode. We are going to set up a loop which is responsible for which will be useful for response objects iter content method, right, which I just mentioned. And then we are going to write that content for each iteration, for each chunk, to write the content into that new file, right? And once we have, for each of the iteration, when we uh, you know we are done with writing the content for the whole file, we are going to simply close the file using the close method. So that is all about that how we can save downloaded files into the hard drive. Right. So of course, this location, the new file which you have created will be the location of your hard drive. Right. Of course, there are other ways to do it. You can save manually. You can save these downloaded files again back to your maybe Google Drive or something, some cloud storage. But here right now we are only focusing upon how to save the downloaded files into the hard drive. So which is basically in our local drives. So there are other lot of interesting aspects to be discussed here in the model too, but this is you know we will take one by one each, and maybe after your eyes we will again have few more examples as to what can be this different you know techniques to do these tasks automated, right? So this module is very interesting, as I mentioned, that there are a lot of real-time examples you can connect it to, and find it interesting that what is the background working, how can I make work these little things. For example, the feature of I am feeling lucky in the Google search engine. So how does that work, right? How can I work with the PDF documents using different modules available? Like I mentioned, how can I select particular pages from multiple PDFs and compile it into a single PDF? Can I have a program for that? So there are a lot of real-time, tasks which can be completed, which can be understood if we know this particular model very well, right? So whatever we cover so far in today's lecture will be there till your, will be there for your third eye, right? So up till here, which is saving the downloaded files into the hard drive. Right, let me highlight it here. Yeah. So along with the module 4, uh, in module 5, till saving download files to the hard drive will be there for your third eye. Right. So this is all about the today's lecture. If you have any particular doubt, you can ask. The session is open for uh, doubt clearing session. We still have 4 5 minutes. If you have any doubts with respect to anything, you can ask. Whatever we have covered so far in today's lecture will also be there for your third eye. Those who have joined late, please put it into the chat box. Right. So there are no doubts, then we shall conclude the lecture. Thanks and all the best for your eye.